So, as a couple, I think our coping mechanism is humor. Apparently, while he was in his induced coma, he was in and out, and he could hear me struggling with medical terms in Chinese, and then so he decided to tell me, and this was the right time to tell me that my Chinese was really bad. Thanks, babe.
I was trying to wake up and try to correct you.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm 35 this year, and this is Ian, my husband, who is 40 years young. There's something that really attracted me to him. I think it was his humor and his very unbashful approach to life. We got married in 2017, and we had to figure out life on our own. So when the stroke did happen, it was a very big shock, for me at least. The day of the stroke started out very typical. That day I was up early and I was getting ready to leave the house, and then Ian had woken up and started his morning routine.
I was actually texting my friends, and then I was holding the phone in my left hand, and I kept dropping my phone. I felt the weakness on my left side. I was looking back at my phone again, and then I realized that what I had typed previously, what I thought was a coherent message, was actually a random mix of numbers and letters. When you're young, you don't really think about, you're having a heart attack, having a stroke, right? You don't think that, you probably think like, oh, it's like some sort of a weird injury, I'll shake it off lah, Like, who thinks of strokes at 30 years old, right? Honestly, when I was lying there, I think it was a slow acceptance that you were gonna die. I guess I was praying that I'll get to see Karen one last time before I go. So I remember saying to her, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah. I think the last things that I said to him before he was wheeled in was, I'll see you on the other side, wherever that may be. At that point is when it truly, the fear hit me. What is he going to be like when he wakes up? My biggest fear was that he would, not be Ian. So when he was wheeled out, obviously he looked terrible. Very early on in his recovery, we had a hard conversation. He said, this is not what you signed up for. We've only been married for a year. I close my eyes, you walk out of the room, you're free to go, right? I'm giving you an out. I was really pissed. I just looked at him and said I said for better or for worse, so you better not get worse lah. When Ian was more cognizant and would be able to talk to me, we did sit down and discuss what our relationship was going to be like. What is our marriage going to look like? We very early on decided that we would first and foremost be husband and wife and not survivor and caretaker. We will also set the stage that we would talk about anything and everything and be as vulnerable with each other as possible. Aside from worrying about Ian's recovery, our marriage, financially, of course, it was a big stressor, right? Especially when this kind of event has never happened to you before, you were just unclear. We only had the basic hospitalization, so we would have to definitely co-pay some stuff. The surgery alone would be hundreds of thousands of dollars, I believe. And if we wanted the world-class care, there were a lot of things that we had to top up. There's always this inertia, I guess, when you're younger to not take insurance or to find that it's so expensive to pay for premiums. You don't actually use it. But I would say the sting of the regret is much more painful of not having the right coverage, right? So number one, make sure your health is in check. Go and take all the health checkups you can regularly.
If you feel something is really off about you, just go get it checked out right away. There's no reason to delay.
I think the one takeaway from that is we can't run away from these things. This stroke is definitely a very big part of our marriage. It's there, it's loud, it's temperamental, but we have accepted it as part and parcel of our marriage.
That's what love is about, right? Accepting that, no matter what state he or she is in, you continue to love and support them.
I think emotionally, we are far more close than we ever were and connected.